Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing a couple of little things this morning, working on my second soup journal. I'm calling that because I make it out of soup packets. I've got a couple of the signatures just basically adorned with the pretty papers and the paper lace on the sides. And I just thought I would start work on doing some of the interior of it, and let's just get into it. I made one belly band and I fell in love with it, so I thought, okay, I've got some of these pieces left over from when I cut the papers down, and I thought I could do a couple more for the other signatures as well as this one. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. I've got a little tag here that was a pull-out from my paper pack, and where is that I can show you? For this journal, I am working from the Kaiser Craft Banksia Rose. I had to read it upside down, sorry. That's the paper I'm working on, and as you can see, I've done a fairly good job of hacking into that. Very proud of myself using the stuff that I'm buying recently, which is a good thing for me. Normally I stash things and hide them away. I was left with this lovely piece of paper, so I thought I could make a fair size ticket out of it and pop it into maybe a tuck spot or an envelope or something like that. I've also got those beautiful stitched envelopes, and I've just worked out that one of those will fit into a signature page, so that's really good. I'm using the direct-to-paper colouring of the edges. I'm finding that a little bit more successful at the moment. With the colder weather here in Australia, my fingers are suffering with arthritis, and it isn't very pleasant. Okay, those two are done. This one, I'll round the edges. This is just a little bit narrower than the others, but that's okay too. You don't need to have great big fat belly bands. They're just to hold something in place. And if I chose to, I could cut this one down and use it as a horizontal one rather than vertical, but I really do like the vertical belly bands. They're a little bit longer and you can do more with them without making them too bulky. Okay, that's all those bits coloured. Yep. Put that to one side now. Okay, now just string this one. And yes, I use my tweezers to do this with. I found it very easy. Just pinch up the middle, poke it through, get it a fair way through so that you can put the tweezer back through. Grab your two bottom ribbons and voila, it's done very easily. Now I've left a fair amount of string on that. I know it's not actually string, it's crochet thread, but that way I've got plenty to play with. If my tweezers go wrong, I can, well, they don't really go wrong. Now I take the little needle out of these because it just doesn't, I can't seem to get the glue all the way through every time, no matter how well I clean it. But this gives me a lovely fine go through anyway. Now I always put a little bit of glue when I can get it down, just in the back of the ticket, just in that little spot there, so that it grabs the tails and the bottom loop. And it's not going to come undone. It doesn't look untidy from the other side, from the correct side. As you can see here, you can't tell that I've glued the back of it. You can't even tell there, but it's nice and firm. It's not going to shift anywhere. It's not going to come undone. And the best part is, it's not bulky. So I'll just set that aside to dry for now. And I thought with this I could put that on that side there, which would just finish it off. Yep, that's what I'll do. I don't need to wait for that to dry because I've made a decision where I'm going to put it. That's dumb, Ruth. Just glue it. Then you can wait for it to dry to put it somewhere. That's logical. That's very logical. You don't need a lot of glue. The beauty of this little bottle is the fact that you can get a lovely thin line of glue anywhere you want. And I put it a little way away from the edge because when you smush it down, it spreads out to the edge anyway. And a little bit, only a little bit in there. Okay, and because I've got some of these little pieces of paper lace left over, I can put one of those in there. That little bit for the bin. Now here is how I put these on. I put my tweezer up from the bottom. Then using the glue, I put glue in these pieces here because they're the more solid, and then just the tiniest little bits around the edges, and it holds it all in place beautifully. You don't need great big blobs of it, just little bits, and that's great big blob, Ruth. Well, for the size of this it is anyway. And because I'm doing both sides of this getting stucky down. Stucky down! There's another good word for you, stucky. Because it's getting stuck down. Just the tiniest little bit around there. And that can sit down the bottom. So it's nicely adorned without having the bulk of the beautiful big textured flowers. I love using those flowers, but I'm learning in journals that you really, unless you want a real gator mouth, you don't want to put the beautiful flowers on the inside of your journal. Save them for the outsides, I think. That's my opinion anyway. Okay, just popping that aside to dry off. And these little ones, where am I going to put those? I'm not sure, so I'll just put them to one side while I'm working on these. Now I've got this beautiful dark pink there, so I think two of these fit. Put that down. That's going to have to go underneath in the middle. That's not cut the straightest, is it? No, Ruth, it's not. It's all wonky from about here up. Let's do something about that. What side is it wonky on? I can't tell, so I'm just going to leave it because the lace will camouflage it. Off. Now I am going to use double-sided tape. Oh, I've already got the tape on there. You beauty. I'll put this one in the center as much as I possibly can. That'd be right. I cut a little bit short and then I short sheeted myself down the bottom. That was super smart. Put my little bits in the bin as I go, that way they don't get stuck on the table. And well, I've already got a screening mess. You can see the little bit of mess I've got around me, so you'll have to forgive that. That little bit doesn't want to come off and go in the bin. I'm going to stick it on the tablecloth and I will pick it up later. Definitely will pick that up later because it's going to annoy the life out of me. Okay, so I think I need to cut 2 of these off, or 1.5. Oh, that one was longer. I misjudged that one, didn't I? Yeah, it's okay. Because I've just worked out that that little piece I can put down there on that, and that would look quite pretty. Okay. Now once again it's both sides being stuck down, so here we go, playing with blue again. Oh, that little bit of sun is beautiful. I hope it's not glaring in your face. Causing wonderful shadows of my hand though, which I don't really need. Just the tiniest little thin strip of glue. These edges are so fine that they will catch easily on things if they're not glued down. It doesn't need very much, it just needs a little tiny dab of glue. I could actually go along and dot it, but I find that a little cumbersome. It's much easier for me to put a thin bead down. Making sure I get more than a thin bead in the middles, because that's the pivotal point for holding it all together, isn't it? I don't know why I'm asking you questions, because I can almost hear you screaming at me, well, you can't hear us, right? So shush. Okay, that's one. I didn't bring my sequin box to the table, so because I could have put a little sequin in the middle of those, so my apologies for not being as organised as I should be. And here we go again. Doesn't take long for the glue to disappear in these little nozzles, does it? Once again, I'm not organised. I haven't got my little cup here that I can put it upside down into. He really doesn't want to play. Oh, that played too heavily there. Sorry, I'm concentrating again. I can't talk and concentrate at the same time. Part of my brain just won't let me do it. Okay. Got that bit done. And quite by sheer fluke, even though I rounded the corners, this lace just fits perfectly into those sections where I cut the corners. So that was, as I said, sheer fluke. Okay, that's pretty wonderful. Now, I could put 2 of those there, couldn't I? That would look quite pretty, but they need something else on them. And I think that colour again would be too much of that. And I can't put those on there because that would be too much of that. Okay, so what can I do? What can I do? do? Have a little think, a little think, a little think. No, can't do it. Brain's gone tatas. It's gone see yous. What can I put on that? No, they're not. I don't know, it's not working for me. It's just not working. What have I got? Oh no, I don't want to use anything out of there because it's not the same colour. Okay, let's have a look in here. Happy birthdays. Wishing all the best days. That's too big. That will stick out too much. Thanks, butterfly. Oh, that might work. It just takes away enough of the pink to blend in. Oh, yes. Happy girl. And I can put one of those under there. Colour this one, of course, because it's just going to blend in too much because of the green. I've got to do something about that. What can I put on behind it? Maybe a little piece of music. That might work. Oh, that's awfully rich. But hey, it works. Alright, I've got a little piece of music paper. Maybe if I tear a little bit of it. Tear it all around. This is thinking on the fly. This is not planned. Slightly on the angle there, and that one can come down here. I think that works. I really do. And I'll go to my phrases stickers and get something for the bottom of that little tag so that it's got something on it. Amount of ink, but I'm not stressing. No stress. As Sonny Steptoe would say, no one panic. It's all good. Well, she wouldn't say it's all good because she doesn't like that saying, but or is it? It is what it is. I know there's one of those that she's not keen on. But anyway, beside the point. Nobody panic because it's all working well. I feel a song coming on, so I better shush. Don't ask me what the song is, it's in my mind, I've got no idea. I just had a burst of music go through the brain. Must have needed it.